Welcome back to CoinAgeEra, where every coin tells a story. Today, we travel more than 123 years back in time to uncover the powerful and fascinating history of the 1901 Indian head penny, one of the most iconic coins ever produced by the United States. The year 1901 was not just another date on the calendar. It was a powerful turning point in the story of the United States. America was standing at the doorway of a brand new century, carrying the weight of its past, while stepping boldly into an uncertain but ambitious future. The 1901 1-cent coin, known today as the Indian head penny, was born in this exact moment of transformation. To truly understand this coin, we must first understand the world it lived in. At the dawn of the 20th century, the United States was no longer a young, struggling nation. It had survived civil war, westward expansion, and economic crises. By 1901, America had begun to see itself as a rising global power. Factories replaced farms in many regions. Steam engines roared across railroads, and cities like New York, Chicago, and Philadelphia grew at astonishing speed. Millions of immigrants arrived from Europe every year, chasing the promise of work, freedom, and a better life. In their pockets, purses, and coat linings, small copper coins like the Indian head penny quietly traveled with them. Money in 1901 was not abstract. It was physical, heavy, and meaningful. A single penny had purchasing power that modern viewers can hardly imagine. Children bought sweets, workers paid for newspapers, and families counted pennies carefully to survive the week. The 1901 Indian head penny was part of daily survival. It passed through countless hands, absorbing the sweat, hope, and struggles of everyday Americans. Every scratch on surviving examples today tells a silent story. Politically, America was entering a new phase. In September 1901, President William McKinley was assassinated, and Theodore Roosevelt became the youngest president in U.S. history. Roosevelt symbolized strength, reform, and American confidence. His leadership matched the symbolism found on American coinage: bold designs meant to inspire unity and national pride. The Indian head penny already carried that spirit, showing liberty dressed in a Native American headdress, blending classical ideals with American identity. Economically, the nation was booming, but not equally. Wealthy industrialists built empires, while factory workers labored long hours for little pay. Child labor was common. Entire families depended on small wages, and the 1-cent coin was often the difference between buying bread or going hungry. The penny was not small in importance. It was essential. That reality gives the 1901 1-cent coin a deeper emotional weight than most modern currencies. Technologically, the world was changing fast. Electric lights were replacing gas lamps. Telephones connected cities. Newspapers spread information faster than ever. Yet, despite all this progress, society remained deeply connected to physical money. Credit cards, digital payments, and online banking were unimaginable. Coins were trusted. Copper was real. And the Indian head penny, made of nearly pure copper, felt solid, honest, and permanent. Culturally, America was redefining itself. The frontier was officially declared closed just a decade earlier, but its spirit lived on in American imagination. Native American imagery was often used, sometimes respectfully, sometimes controversially, to symbolize bravery, sacrifice, and the untamed land that built the nation. The Indian head penny reflected this mindset. Though the portrait was not of an actual Native American, the headdress represented what Americans believed to be the soul of their nation: strong, resilient, and fearless. In 1901, the United States Mint in Philadelphia struck millions of these pennies with care and precision. There was no mint mark, as Philadelphia was the primary mint at the time. Workers operated heavy machinery, feeding copper blanks into presses that stamped liberty's image with incredible force. Each strike created a coin meant to last decades, perhaps even centuries. The fact that we still hold these coins today proves they succeeded. What makes the 1901 Indian head penny special is not just its age, but its timing. It existed at the crossroads of history, between the old America of horse-drawn wagons and the new America of automobiles and skyscrapers. It was there before the First World War, before the Great Depression, before modern global politics reshaped the world. This penny belongs to a world that no longer exists. When collectors look at a 1901 Indian head penny today, they are not just seeing copper. They are seeing a nation in motion. They are holding a witness to immigration waves, industrial smoke, political change, and everyday human survival. This coin lived when America was still writing its identity 1 cent at a time. And this is only the beginning of its story. To truly understand the 1901 Indian head penny, we must look beyond its copper surface and dive deep into the meaning behind its design. This coin was not created randomly. Every line, every feather, and every symbol was chosen to communicate a message about America, its values, its struggles, and its identity at the dawn of a new century. The Indian head penny was designed by James Barton Longacre, the chief engraver of the United States Mint. Longacre was not just an artist. He was a storyteller working in metal. When he introduced the Indian head design in 1859, America was still healing from internal conflict and defining what it truly stood for. By the time 1901 arrived, this design had already lived through war, expansion, and reconstruction, and it still remained relevant. At first glance, many people believe the coin shows a Native American chief. But this is one of the biggest misconceptions in U.S. coin history. The portrait on the obverse is actually Lady Liberty, a classical European figure wearing a Native American feathered headdress. This artistic choice was intentional and deeply symbolic. Liberty represented freedom, democracy, and enlightenment, while the headdress symbolized courage, honor, and the deep roots of the American land itself. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Native American imagery held powerful meaning in the American imagination. The frontier had officially closed, but its spirit was still alive. To many Americans, Native American symbols represented bravery, resilience, and sacrifice, qualities the nation admired and wanted to claim as its own. By placing a native headdress on Liberty, the coin attempted to merge Old World ideals with New World identity. The word Liberty is engraved boldly across the headdress band. This detail is extremely important. It tells us that freedom is not separate from sacrifice, it is earned, defended, and carried forward. By 1901, America saw itself as a protector of liberty, not just at home, but increasingly on the world stage. This small inscription reflects a big national belief. Look closely at the feathers. There are 13 feathers representing the original 13 colonies. This subtle detail ties the modern United States back to its revolutionary origins. Even as America industrialized and expanded, it did not want to forget where it came from. The Indian head penny served as a daily reminder of that connection, a lesson carried quietly in every pocket. The profile of liberty is calm, strong, and dignified. There is no crown of royalty, no symbol of monarchy. Instead, her expression reflects confidence and endurance. This was intentional. The United States wanted its coinage to communicate equality, strength, and independence. In a world still dominated by kings and empires, American coins stood apart. Turning the coin over reveals even more symbolism. The reverse features a wreath tied together at the bottom, with a shield placed proudly at the top. The wreath is made of oak leaves, symbolizing strength, endurance, and longevity. Oak trees were known to survive storms, just as the nation had survived war and division. The shield represents national defense and unity. It reminds us that liberty must be protected. In 1901, America had recently emerged from the Spanish-American War and was beginning to see itself as a military and political power. The shield on the penny quietly reinforces the idea that the nation must remain strong to preserve freedom. Inside the wreath, the words 1 cent appear boldly. This design choice emphasizes the importance of even the smallest denomination. The message is clear. Every citizen matters, and every contribution, no matter how small, plays a role in building the nation. This philosophy aligns perfectly with democratic ideals. The absence of a mint mark on the 1901 penny also tells a story. All 1901 Indian head pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the heart of American coin production. Philadelphia was not just a minting location. It was a symbol of American independence and authority. Coins produced there carried a sense of official trust and national pride. Another important aspect of the design is the material itself. Made primarily of 95% copper, the Indian head penny had a warm, rich tone. Copper was associated with honesty and durability. Unlike precious metals reserved for elites, copper coins were for the people. They circulated widely, aged naturally, and developed character over time, just like the nation itself. As years passed, each coin gained scratched, darkened edges, and wear marks. But instead of reducing its beauty, this aging added authenticity. Every worn detail tells a story of movement, exchange, and survival. A heavily worn 1901 penny may have passed through thousands of hands, each representing a moment in history. What makes the Indian head penny truly powerful is how ordinary it was. This was not a ceremonial coin locked away in vaults. It was used, touched, lost, found, and reused. It lived real life. That is why collectors today feel such a strong emotional connection to it. Holding one is like shaking hands with the past. By 1901, the Indian head penny design was nearing the end of its life. Just 8 years later, in 1909, it would be replaced by the Lincoln wheat penny, marking a new era in American coinage. But in its final years, the Indian head penny stood as a bridge between centuries, carrying the memory of the 1800s into the promise of the 1900s. This design did not just reflect America, it shaped how Americans saw themselves: strong, free, united, enduring. To truly appreciate the 1901 Indian head penny, we must step inside the world where it was born, the loud, gritty, and tireless environment of the United States Mint in Philadelphia. This was not a quiet or elegant place. It was a factory of national importance, where history was struck into metal with force, precision, and purpose. In 1901, mint workers operated massive steam-powered presses. These machines were fed with freshly prepared copper blanks known as planchettes. Each blank was carefully weighed and inspected because even the smallest error could weaken the coin. Once approved, the blank was placed between two steel dies engraved with the image of liberty and the wreath. With a single thunderous strike, the press transformed raw copper into a 1-cent coin, a coin meant to serve the nation. The composition of the 1901 penny was 95% copper, mixed with small amounts of tin and zinc. This was no accident. Copper was chosen for its durability, affordability, and honesty. It aged naturally, changed color over time, and survived harsh circulation. Just like the American people, copper endured. Many of these pennies would travel thousands of miles, survive decades of use, and still exist today. Once struck, the pennies were counted, bagged, and shipped across the country. From busy cities to quiet rural towns, the 1901 Indian head penny entered everyday life. It bought bread, candy, and newspapers. It paid for work, helped families survive hard times, and passed silently between strangers who never imagined their small change would one day be treasured. As years passed, the world around the penny changed dramatically. Automobiles replaced horses. Radios replaced silence. Wars reshaped nations. Presidents came and went. Yet the penny remained, scratched, darkened, worn, but alive. Some were lost forever, buried in the soil or melted down. Others survived, protected by chance, luck, or careful hands. By 1909, the Indian head penny's journey officially ended when it was replaced by the Lincoln wheat cent. For the first time, a real historical figure appeared on a U.S. coin. This marked a new chapter in American coinage, but it also marked the end of an era. The Indian head penny had carried America through its formative years, from expansion to industrial power. Today, when collectors hold a 1901 Indian head penny, they are holding more than copper. They are holding a witness to history. Every worn edge reflects movement. Every faded detail reflects time. These coins are no longer just money. They are storytellers. Some 1901 pennies are found heavily worn, reminding us how hard life once was. Others survive in beautiful condition, preserved as if time paused for them. Both are valuable, not just in price, but in meaning. Their true worth lies in the stories they carry. The 1901 Indian head penny teaches us something powerful, that even the smallest things can have the greatest impact. A single cent helped build an economy, connect people, and preserve national identity. It reminds us that history is not only written by kings, wars, and monuments, it is also written by ordinary objects used by ordinary people. And that is why this coin still matters. This is where the journey ends, but the legacy continues. If you enjoyed traveling through time with this legendary coin, subscribe and stay connected with CoinAgeEra, because every coin has a past, and every past deserves to be remembered.